Welcome to the Gray Area. Kevin Gray of 105.3 The Fan reporting from the American Airlines Center, where the Dallas Mavericks fall 133-108, a 25-point beatdown at the hands of the Houston Rockets. The Mavericks were looking to win their third straight basketball game, are unable to do so as your man DeMarcus Cousins turned back the clock with a 28-point, 17 rebound performance. Eric Gordon had 33 points in 30 minutes of play. Those two paced the Houston Rockets to a dominant 133-108 win. The Dallas Mavericks were without Kristaps Porzingis, who, after 5 games in 7 days, the Dallas Mavericks decided to rest him against the Houston Rockets at home. The Dallas Mavericks, of course, were still missing Dorian Finney-Smith, also Josh Richardson, Dwight Powell, and also Maxi Kleber due to the health and safety protocols of the NBA. And this is a game where the Mavericks just came out flat at the beginning of this basketball game after getting outscored 38-27 at the end of the first quarter. They played the Houston Rockets even at 32. In the third quarter, they were able to get it within 3 at 74-71 after a burst of energy where they started off the third quarter on a 12-4 run, but the Houston Rockets dominated the rest of the period. After the Mavericks got it within 3, the Rockets outscored the Dallas Mavericks 30-12 to end that third quarter, and then the fourth quarter was just a basic blowout from there. So the Dallas Mavericks struggle in a night where they were missing 5 of their key players, Porzingis due to rest, and obviously the other 4, Richardson, also Maxi Kleber, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Dwight Powell due to the health and safety protocols. And you could tell early on in this game it was not going to be a good night for the Dallas Mavericks, who shot poorly from 3 as they go, as you look at their statistics, only shooting 20% from 3, 5 of 25 from the field, only shooting 45% overall from the field. They allowed DeMarcus Cousins to dominate on the glass throughout the night. This is a Houston Rocket team that themselves were missing guys like Christian Wood and Victor Oladipo and Daniel House, and they still played like a team that was possessed and dominated the Mavericks basically from start to finish. And these are the kinds of games where you've seen the Mavericks play poorly at home, much like how they did at times during last season. And it's important for the Mavericks, obviously, to get themselves on track at home. They've been a better road team. As you hear from Trey Burke, you will hear him talk about how this team has been better on the road than they've been at home. In fact, here is Trey Burke talking about the idea that the Mavericks have been much better on the road than they have been as a home team, and why they can't seem to figure it out at home. Here's Trey Burke after the game tonight.
How concerned, and this is kind of a carryover, I guess, from last year, how concerned are you guys about the way you're playing at home? And I realize there aren't fans in the stands and whatnot, but this is where you're going to be playing the majority of your games, and the 3 games that you've lost have really not been very pretty.
Yeah, we're conscious of it for sure. Definitely conscious of it. Right now, it's just simple. We're a better road team right now. I don't really have the answers to that. I think collectively we're trying to figure out what it is that can get us going at home. But there's no fans nowhere, so it's really not an excuse. We have to bring our energy every night. We tell each other that amongst each other, going out on the court. But it's easier said than done. We got to find a way to, get our juice back here and build off of the wins that we just had. We just had 2 wins on the road. Tonight would have been 3 in a row. Would have been good to get it, but you got to have a short-term memory. Learn from this, and the beauty of it is we got a day off tomorrow, and we have another home game against a good team on Monday. So I think we can start to turn that narrative around.
So Trey Burke honestly doesn't have the answers right now as to why the Mavericks haven't been able to play well at home versus them playing better on the road. After getting road wins against the Indiana Pacers and the San Antonio Spurs, they come home in a flat performance, losing by 25 points. And look, you saw at the start of the second half, they made some lineup adjustments. They started Boban Marjanovic and Wes Iwundu in place of Willie Cauley-Stein and Josh Green. Willie Cauley-Stein was not playing well at all, especially on the defensive and the offensive glass, allowing a guy, DeMarcus Cousins, to rebound the basketball at will Willie Cauley-Stein did not play well at all. Tim Hardaway was not very good on the defensive end. Eric Gordon had his way all night long, shooting the ball well from the three-point line, getting into the paint, getting and ones on fallaways that caused fouls. Eric Gordon played an extremely good basketball game. Eric Gordon is one of those guys, when he gets streaky and gets hot from the three-point line, it seems like everything starts to fall for him, and that's exactly what happened tonight against the Dallas Mavericks. The Mavericks, obviously, look, when Luka isn't scoring, there really isn't anyone else that can score the basketball. And you saw in many a times during this game where no one other than Luka Doncic was putting the ball in the basket. Luka himself on the night finished with 26 points on 9 of 18 shooting, was 7 of 12 from the free throw line, but was a negative 15. We mentioned how poorly Willie Cauley-Stein played in this game, went a negative 26 in the plus-minus category. Here was Luka Doncic talking after the game about the energy that maybe had zapped from this team after the couple of road games that they played in these tough schedules that they've had in terms of the 5 games in 7 days before returning home here to the American Airlines Center. Here's Luka Doncic after the game talking about that energy that wasn't there at all for the Mavericks against the Houston Rockets.
Luka, you guys got it real close there in the third quarter, and then it looked like there just maybe wasn't enough energy to get over the hump. What happened the rest of the way on that stretch? And I have a follow-up if I could.
Yeah, I think we just relaxed. You know, we came back and then we just relaxed in a certain way. So I think that's what happened there.
So Luka Doncic and this team did not have a lot of energy, and it was just a flat performance from this team. And this is a concerning thing when you start thinking about the Mavericks and what they want to continue to do as trying to put themselves in contention. You say, Kevin, look, they missed 5 of their main guys against the Houston Rockets. Well, conversely, on the other end, the Houston Rockets were missing Victor Oladipo. They were missing Christian Wood. They were missing Daniel House, and they played like a team that had much more energy and wanted to be in the building. It seemed like the Mavericks were sleepwalking throughout much of this basketball game, not generating the kind of energy that they needed to in order to sustain a push. Obviously, they got it to within 3 in the third quarter, but after that push, it seemed like they had nothing left to be able to sustain being able to get over the hump. Rick Carlisle talking about the idea that they had a corner 3 to try and get the game tied at 74, didn't fall from there. And as we mentioned, the Rockets outscored the Dallas Mavericks 30-12 to end that third quarter, and that was pretty much all she wrote from there. So this Mavs team has got to learn, especially knowing how well they play on the road, to be able to translate that kind of energy and create that own energy even when they come home. I know it's a difficult stretch of games that they have played. That difficult stretch of games continues on Monday when they take on the Denver Nuggets, when they welcome Nikola Jokic, who, of course, they beat on the road in overtime when Maxi Kleber was there and putting on a show, especially in that fourth quarter, and Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic going back and forth in that basketball game. They're going to need everything that they can get from Luka Doncic against a team that features guys like Jamal Murray and also Nikola Jokic, especially in that front court, one of the best players in all of the NBA. At one point was leading the NBA in assists. That just shows you how good and how versatile a player Nikola Jokic is. But again, the Mavericks are going to have to not play down to their level of competition, because even with Porzingis missing, and I understand what they were missing in terms of Kleber, Dorian Finney-Smith, Dwight Powell, and also Josh Richardson, we've seen this team on the road against better opponents be able to beat them. So there's no reason to come back on your own home floor and find yourself playing the flat kind of game that they did. No one played well on the defensive end. As we mentioned, Tim Hardaway was not good. Willie Cauley-Stein came out flat. This team did not have any energy, and more importantly, it seemed like they couldn't find any even if they tried, even though they got it down to 3 in the third quarter. This is a team, when they're not shooting the ball well from the three-point line, which so far this season, for the most part, they really haven't done well, which is concerning, knowing how good this team was from an offensive rating standpoint, and a lot of that being buoyed by the idea that they were knocking down shots from downtown. Tim Hardaway was not good in this basketball game on either end of the floor, and we're going to keep harping on this when it comes to the Dallas Mavericks. They need a second legitimate perimeter scorer that can go get his own bucket when Luka Doncic is the one carrying the scoring load, and you have nights like this when you need to find energy from someone else. Until that happens, you will see these ebbs and flows. Sometimes you will get good nights from Tim Hardaway or Jalen Brunson, who played well again tonight and has been playing well, especially over the last several games, especially being in the starting lineup. But at the same time, Luka Doncic shouldering the scoring load in games like this, it reminded me a lot of the Chicago Bulls game just a week ago, where Zach LaVine and the Chicago Bulls team walked in. Lauri Markkanen had a monster game, and that one, the energy was not there on the home floor for the Mavericks, and they subsequently got blown out by a team who isn't nearly as good as them. So this is what happens when teams are still trying to figure things out in a difficult stretch of games in terms of their schedule, while also trying to balance what they are without key players on this team. So the Dallas Mavericks fall 133-108 here at the American Airlines Center. This team will get back on the floor on Monday to take on the Denver Nuggets when they welcome Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray and that very talented basketball team that, of course, made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals a season ago. The Dallas Mavericks will need to turn in a much better performance and hope that the day off that they get on Sunday will lead to not only some rest for this team, but also a resetting of this mindset when it comes to playing at home, especially knowing that you're going to be needing to play well, especially in that stretch in February where they have 7 consecutive home games when you get to around mid-February. So there's opportunities there for them to make up a lot of ground and, more importantly, get healthy. This team has got to get healthy. And once they do so, they should have an opportunity to be a little bit more consistent and develop the kind of continuity that we thought they were going to have this season going into this year, with a lot of expectations that they're learning to have to manage given what teams are giving them night after night in terms of their best punch. They got punched out against the Houston Rockets by DeMarcus Cousins and Eric Gordon. We'll see how the Mavericks bounce back on Monday as they take on the Denver Nuggets. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Kevin Gray Sports. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel also at Kevin Gray Sports. We'll talk to you later.